Hello and welcome to the Azat Miftakhov Days Against the War. My name is Ahmed Abbas. I am a mathematician at CNRS and DHOS and a member of the Azat Miftakhov Committee. We are meeting today to show solidarity with Azat Miftakhov, a graduate student from Moscow State University who has been arbitrarily imprisoned by the Russian state authorities since February 2019. In a moment, my colleague Ilya Kapovich from Hunter College of CUNY will deliver the opening remarks on behalf of the Azat Miftakhov Committee. We will then have 3 mathematical lectures of 50 minutes each by Alexander Petrov from the Max Planck Institute of Mathematics in Bonn, Ilya Dumensky from MIT, and Slava Ryshkov from EHOS. We will take 2 or 3 questions, depending on time, after each lecture. And between the first and the second lecture, we will be showing a pre-recorded message from Mrs. Elena Gorban, Azat's wife, who unfortunately could not be with us today, but we hope she will join us tomorrow for the panel on human rights. And now, it's my great pleasure to introduce my colleague, Ilya from Hunter College of CUNY, who will deliver the opening remarks.
Thank you, Ahmed. Welcome, everybody. On behalf of the Azat Miftakhov Committee, I'd like to welcome all of you to the Azat Miftakhov Days Against the War. When we met a year ago in June 2021 for the first Azat Miftakhov Day, we were hoping for a very different future. We hoped that by now Azat would be released and that the human rights situation in Russia would be improving. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. Azat is still imprisoned in a penal labor colony in Amutninsk, and the 6-year prison sentence against him on trumped-up political charges is still in force. Moreover, during the last year, a new cloud descended over Russia, a dark and terrible cloud of war and oppression. On February 24, this cloud extended its tentacles even further with Russia's bloody invasion of Ukraine, an invasion driven by Putin's mad imperial nationalistic ambition. As we meet today for this Azat Miftakhov Days Against the War conference, Russian bombs and artillery shells fall on Ukrainian cities. The horrors of war inflicted by Russia on the people of Ukraine should shock the conscience of all. The world has only begun to grasp the true toll of human suffering unleashed by this fratricidal war. The crimes committed by the Russian military against Ukraine's civilian population are only beginning to be understood as well. Today, we stand in solidarity with our mathematical colleagues in Ukraine and with the people of Ukraine who bear the brunt of this terrible war. We hope for their safety and the safety of their families, and we hope that the people of Ukraine will prevail in their fight against Russia's aggression and will free their country from the invaders. We extend our solidarity to the scientists, students, and academics and other pro-democracy activists in Russia who are standing up against the war and against the oppression of Putin's brutal regime. Today, they face a much greater danger than a year ago. Their fight is especially important now, both for stopping Russia's war against Ukraine and for ensuring a free and democratic future for Russia itself. Azat Miftakhov and other pro-democracy activists stood up against Putin's repressive regime when few outside of Russia listened or paid attention. The current events underscore with terrible clarity that the political opposition in Russia in years past, including the persecution of Azat Miftakhov, paved the way for Putin's war in Ukraine and for the near total silencing of anti-war news and opinions that Russia is witnessing today. We also see the price of the world being too complacent about political repression and human rights violations, especially when committed by a major power like Russia. We affirm our solidarity with Azat Miftakhov, who remains an inspiring symbol for all those who hope for a democratic and peaceful Russia, a Russia that respects the rights of its citizens and doesn't threaten its neighbors. Today also marks the start of the 2022 International Congress of Mathematicians, which is being held virtually with Helsinki as a replacement host for St. Petersburg. While every ICM serves as a forum for worldwide celebration of the beauty and excitement of mathematics, this year's ICM also provides all of us with a poignant opportunity to reflect on the place of mathematics in the modern world, on our responsibilities as scientists and mathematicians to our profession and the society as a whole. We don't wish to needlessly politicize the conduct of mathematical research, but we must recognize that truly free international scientific cooperation and truly free exchange of ideas in science are impossible when basic freedoms of expression and inquiry are imperiled. When that happens, when our colleagues around the world suffer political persecution and even worse, military aggression, we need to speak up. We need to stand up for them. We cannot treat the practice of mathematics as an isolated endeavor, disjoined from the developments in society and the world at large. We hope that the international mathematical community and the IMU will take these lessons to heart. On behalf of the Azat Miftakhov Committee, I welcome all of you as the participants of this year's Azat Miftakhov Days Against the War. Our special gratitude goes to the mathematical societies supporting this event. We believe that young Russian students and researchers standing in opposition to Putin's repression and in support of freedom and human rights in Russia represents the true future of Russia. We are honored to have 3 of such young mathematicians as today's speakers. We are also honored to welcome several prominent Russian human rights activists and experts as participants of tomorrow's human rights panel. They continue a critically important fight for a free Russia, for the rights of students, scientists, and academics who are being politically persecuted there, particularly those being persecuted for opposing the war. Once again, welcome everybody, and thank you.
Thank you, Ilya. Thank you very much. Now it's my great pleasure to introduce the first mathematical speaker, Alexander Petrov from the Max Planck Institute in Bonn, who will speak on representations of Galois groups and families of algebraic varieties.